Hello, and welcome to Reading with Renderscene. And now on some platforms. Alrighty, so let's get right on into it. Today we're going to be reading Witchcraft, Handbook of Spells, Magic, and Potions. Anastasia Greywolf. There are some original illustrations in this, and they are done by Melissa West. The cover, it's got a nice sleek feel to it. A bit of embossment here. It's a little weighty. It's got a nice spine. Some interesting graphics on it as well. This is Wellfleet Press. All right, let's get into it. I conjure thee, O book, to be useful and profitable unto all who shall have recourse to thee for the success of their affairs. I conjure thee anew to be serviceable unto all those who shall read thee. I love that. That's a lot of great positivity there. Um, I'm not really sure what these are here. They sort of look like daggers or crosses. Um, I like it. It's subtle. It's a small amount of imagery. I conjure and command you, O spirits, and all, so many as ye a, to accept this book with good grace, so that whensoever we may read it, the same being approved and recognized as in proper form and valid, you shall appear immediately when the conjuration is made, to execute without dallying. That's an interesting word. I haven't seen that in some time. I feel that in this era there's a lot of dallying that is occurring. To execute without dallying, I want to say delaying when I see that, but anyways, to execute without dallying all that is written and enumerated in its proper place in the said book, you shall obey, serve, instruct, impart, and perform all in your power for the benefit of those who command you, and the whole without illusion. Hopefully, the text is somewhat readable there for you. Perhaps we need to decrease the distance a little bit for things here and there. It's a bit fuzzy. Sorry. Take my word for it. This is a really nice graphic. Okay, we've got the table of contents here. When I picked up this book, the cover really popped to me. There was something about it. It could have been, just the gold on black, maybe the placement of the placement of it against other books on the shelf. But definitely when I picked it up, as I mentioned, it's nice and sleek. There's not too much texture on it, but the embossment here is just subtle enough that it really um, called to me to bring it home. And definitely the graphics in here as well, the imagery. So here we have a nice pot. Looks a bit dented. Maybe it's the natural sort of way that the Smith, would a Smith make a pot like this? I don't think it's pottery. I don't think it's clay. I think it's a metal pot. Um, I don't know. There's probably some clay pots that have sort of a handle like this on it, but I feel that it's a large metal cauldron. Anyways, this little guy here, he reminds me of a game. Um, I think I have it on Steam. It's bothering me. It's really bothering me. I need to take a look here. I think it's called Wizards. I think it's called Wizards. No, sorry. It's called Magica. He sort of looks like the wizards from Magica. Magical, magic, regular spelling, Ka, K-A, and then number 2. It's by, who's the publisher on this? I'm not sure who the publisher is. Anyways, Magica 2. Nice. It's pretty neat. We have the introduction here. Nice sleek lines on that. Bit of movement in the middle. Okay. I don't know about you, but I do not know anything about magic and witchcraft. Um, so, just some nice fresh eyes here. We'll see. How to use witchcraft. Welcome to the world of witchery. The powerful words inside this tome will allow you to effect great change through potions, spells, charms, magic, rituals, and in, incantations. In, incantations. Use them to keep yourself safe, counteract evil, heal disease, find true love, charm animals, obtain great fortune, call upon a storm, speak to the dead, and much more, all through the power of Witchcraft and magic. Um, okay, I have this book. I have this book. Is it poppycocks? Is there something that's actually tangible and usable in this? I really don't know. Um, this is a lot of promise of like things that this book can do. Is there evil in this book? Is this book full of life and love and positivity? Um, for all I know, it could be the Necronomicon. Time honored knowledge and the powerful forces that guide our planet come from all corners of it. So, this is Grimoire. So, that grammar seems off. Time honored knowledge all about the powerful forces that guide our planet come from all corners of it. So, this grimoire combines guidance from many different cultures and religions. Okay, I, the grammar is right, but I suppose I'm an unlearned individual. I do not know what the word grimoire means. So, maybe um, as I read a little bit more, if anyone in chat knows to educate. Anyways, grimoire. This grimoire. It's another word for book. Anyways, let's not get stuck on that. Not only does this facilitate you going beyond the realms of traditional American or even European witchery, it allows you to consult the spellbooks of the cultures best equipped to administer magic in that area. For instance, while my practitioner of witchcraft would agree that there's no better revenge spell than one from an Italian witches' coven, or are Italian witches the most powerful? Is this what this book is saying? Spells about nature and animals are better handled by soothing Native American shamans' chants. And while just about every culture has a spell or potion to cure a cough, if you're trying to cure drunkenness, it's best to consult the ancient Gaelic mysteries before any others. They recommend procuring an egg from an owl or stork for the drinker's cup. This is a lot to unpack in here, and I love that they're really speaking to um, different cultures. Um, Anastasia seems to be offering a slight amount of perspective other than perhaps the main sort of pool that the knowledge has been placed, pen to paper. Mm. Also, just on the topic of paper, I mean, it feels like a normal sort of page. The spacing of the font, you know, prior to the start of a paragraph as well as after a paragraph, it reads well. I mean, it's not a large font book, but it certainly is readable from a distance. I think I might have to do something about the placement of my chair and this desk, but anyways, it's easy to, read this. 'Read 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 this. Hopefully, I'm not coming off as too distant. In the succeeding pages, no differentiation is made between the magic known as black and white. Oh, I have to stop right here. I love the italics here. Obviously, there's a reason for it, but I hope really that font is utilized selectively to sort of pop and maybe pull in attention to particular sections of the book, the way that like a bullet point or a title would. Um, in these here, there must be some. This must be called something to sort of delineate between the paragraphs here. It's not a chapter, but anyways, the magic known as black and white, because what might be considered evil or revengeful in one circumstance might be benevolent in another, especially when viewed through the lens of a partisan experience. However, spells have been separated roughly by purpose unto the chapters you find herein. Hmm. There's something about that bracket. Witchcraft means many things to many different people, but on the whole, it is the study of how to harness energies, how to harness energies. I mean, this is the spirit of this entire book here. Um, I, I feel that this sentence needs more attention drawn to it for what this book is actually about. Maybe bolding that font, I think, would really work well. With the right tools and a little practice, the words in this tome will allow you to channel aspects of the spiritual world that are beyond the common man or woman to even understand. If you are new to the world of witchcraft, begin with the rest of this introduction. Which this is definitely me. I don't know about you. Definitely me. Which will instruct you on the proper instruments. Sorry, I gotta clear the pipes here. Uh, I feel we need to start the sentence again here. We have to do it justice. If you are new to the world of witchcraft, begin with the rest of this introduction, which will instruct you on the proper instruments to practice your craft, as well as how to form a circle with other members of your coven to increase your magical reach. What more than one individual is more powerful? Um, it's a bit too strong arm there here. I I feel that having many individuals to cast a spell only is a sign of weakness. Anyways, that's interesting. This this is interesting. I feel this is I need to digest what I've just said here. Maybe that's just pure nonsense and that's wrong, but um this is interesting here. Even the page break here, this thing. Um I'm going to give this a function here. This is a sit and wait and digest on this. So I'm going to get a little drink here. I feel that we should sort of just think about what is being said here. I'll be back. see me. And think about this. Let's take a look. So as a, as a narrator here, let's sort of think about this for a minute. Channeling spells with an entire covenant. I'm sure there probably are many spells that you need an entire covenant. Okay, technical difficulties. Appears to be all right now. Let me just think that thought through again. A bunch of witches. I don't know the right words. I think it's covenant. Let's read it here. They said. Um, anyways, let's not go too hung up on that. Um, one members. That's the word they use. Members. So one fellow member of your craft casting something on their own versus a whole bunch of individuals crafting a spell can both cast a spell of equal power that is like at a pinnacle. And is there any way that it's just like impossible to cast such a crafty high level spell as an individual versus like a band of witches? Mm, I don't know anything about that. Time will tell, which is why we got this book. I actually have a few different witchcraft books. Might read them in succession through this series. Possibly take a break into a different type of medium or IP. But anyways, let's zero back in here. Sorry, I'm a bit scattery right now. This just was very impactful. Hence why the break. For those non believers who may have found their way to these pages before the advent of modern science and medicine, many of the potions and spells in this very book were originally published alongside such practical information as how to prevent an ear infection with alcohol, know what the weather will be based on the wind and clouds, to keep insects away from livestock with, or keep insects away from livestock with vinegar. At the time, all of it was magic. That's a very interesting sentence. I mean, it's literally just as is read, right? Like to do something like just um, control a headache. I've heard some wise individual told me that chewing on the bark of a particular tree can calm a headache. I think Advil is based on that. It's a chemical variant of it that's been patented or whatnot, but it would be very mysterious and ritualistic to chew on some of this particular bark. So it could be magical or spiritual. Um, I wonder if the author, I've forgotten her name. My memory is very bad. That's why I write things down. Um, what's her name? Anastasia Greywolf. I wonder if this type of mindset is propagated through the book. Now we know that alcohol kills the bacteria that cause ear infections. We can reliably predict the weather within a few degrees, and the acidic acid in vinegar is one of the major compounds of commercial pesticides. It is so strange to believe that uh, the accompanying remedies to grow hair, keep fire away, or even regain a lost love might be based on proven science, but we haven't discovered it yet. Um, I think that might be a bit of a far stretch, some of those statements, but maybe not to an uninformed mind such as myself. Um, maybe we could be a lot closer than we realize. I mean, um, I don't know about you, but AI and ChatGPT and Grok and all those things um, seemed decades in the future. If you were to ask me, a couple of years ago, maybe even centuries in the future, definitely a lot further off than presently. So some sort of magic to regain lost love, keep fire away. With global warming now, I mean, maybe some sort of magic will need to be utilized um, to right Mother Earth. In this age, what are our remedies for questions that have no answers? Even if you don't believe it is possible to curse an enemy using a mirror, are you not curious as to what a magician would recite in the moment of danger? If a witch has found a mystical avenue to commune with animals, is there not a part of you that wants to know what she does to harness this power? Okay, this is talking about curses and mirrors. Communing with animals? Are, is this book, are we going to read this book and we're going to learn how to, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? And then it's not you. And then you tell the mirror, to morph or change into something, and suddenly you're a pack of wolves and a murderous rampage ensues. What the fuck? Like, what is these spells in this book? I want to know what they are. This belief in the crux of the effectiveness of witchcraft and magic in general, your power can only match your convictions, as Charles Godfrey Leland, a pioneering research in the art of witchcraft, divulged about revenge spells. Okay, this is interesting. We're getting sort of like tie-ins to other source material. I kind of want to take a look here. Let's take a look at the back and see if there's anything referenced here. We're on page 4. And let's see if there's like source material. Lo and behold, sources. Okay, I'm just going to pull this off screen here a little bit, and I want to see what the oldest source referenced here is. Just a quick scan. There's something from 1655. I feel, when you're talking about magic, there's got to be something older than 1655. Okay, well, 1655 is the oldest one referenced here. There we go. Let's see. Get that in focus. Looks like it's in focus. European magicians. Agrippa Henry Cornelius. Translated by Robert Turner. Fourth book of the occult philosophy of the magical ceremonies. The fourth book in London, 1655. Truth be told, I'm a little disappointed that that's the oldest source in here. I would have thought there'd be something like from, at least the 300s, 400s, 500s. Anyways, let's continue here. Okay. The success of such charms depends chiefly on the seriousness or earnestness with which they are pronounced. When the witch utters them to herself or for others, she does it with an air of terrible vindictiveness, such as would cause anyone to shudder. Because of this, it is best to try to memorize any words herein before reciting them, so that they can be said without the utmost credence. Likewise, anyone who is in your presence will recite the spell must also believe in the efficiency of the pronounced words. Stay calm, and if the desired results are not immediately produced, do not let emotions overwhelm or discourage you. Uh, what does that mean? I mean, to recall. Oops. Sorry about that. Sorry, we're getting a bit of clicky here. Um, I don't feel I'm too energized here with wild arms or anything, but my touchpad is rather near where I sort of rest my arm right now. So as I mentioned, I, I I'll need to adjust my desk a little bit here. But let's go back to this shot here. To be able to recite anything from memory without stuttering or to say with confidence is really key, no matter what you're doing. Um, anyone who is in your presence while reciting the spell must also believe in the efficient efficiency of the words. I am a very, I'm a Luddite here. I need to Google this pronunciation. I want to say efficiency, but I don't know. Efficacy. Effic- efficacy. Efficacy. I need to learn this word. This is the word of today. Efficacy. Efficacy. Efficacy is the ability of something, typically a medicine, treatment, or method, to produce a desired or intended result. Um, Maybe that's like hypnosis or whatnot. You get the the watch and it's sort of that rhythm motion and just sort of back and forth and the focus on the movement and then sort of like creating a clean slate for your mind and then suddenly it's like um, an idea or a thought is placed in there. Um, okay, well, it seems like they're saying here like a two-way street of like the spell. It's like, okay, you cast a spell on me. Well, okay, that like hits and like I'm susceptible to that. Well, then watch out because the volley will be returned. Likewise, anyone who is in your presence while reciting the spell must also believe in the efficacy of the pronounced words. Stay calm, and if the desired results are not immediately produced, do not let emotions overwhelm or discourage you. Hmm. All right. I feel like this needs to stick here again. We've got these little blades, crosses. I gotta get a closer look at what these are. Daggers. Let's just try and get this into focus here. I need a macro camera here. I need a DSL or something. Sorry, folks. There we go. I really feel like these are just like very intended. Like wherever those are. I wonder if they're like throughout the book. They don't seem to be anywhere else in the book. I wonder if subconsciously I just feel that like where these three daggers are, it's like that is a powerful statement before it, or maybe I'm just like nonsense and it's not really the case. But regardless, these areas seem to be like extra oomph and whatnot. Now, fellow witches and warlocks, whether novice or of the highest order, go forth and discover what witchcraft has to offer the world. Use your new magical knowledge judiciously and without malice. Find those who are like minded and include them in your spiritual practice. And if you are so inclined, keep an eye on the mystical midnight moonbeams if you want to catch a glimpse. Bleh. If keep an eye on the mystical midnight moonbeams if you want to catch a glimpse of the magical doings of my craft conspirators, the Moonbeam Coven. Oh, okay. That's what hers called. Anastasia's Moonbeam Coven. Okay. Well, it seems like maybe she's saying that this this book doesn't really have like any toxic spells? Question mark? I just flipped through here now. Necromancy. Okay, so it seems she's like, yeah, don't do any bad things. But then, like, you flip through here and it's like necromancy. What? Um, and this guy Charles here, he's talking about revenge spells. So I don't know. Is this the Necronomicon in disguise? I don't know, but let's take at least a look at a couple of these spells here. Making a circle. Making a circle. Is this what you're supposed to make? I don't know. It is most convenient to mark a witch's circle with chalk, paint, or otherwise to show where it is. But any marks may be utilized. Even furniture may be placed to indicate the bounds. You should draw the circle before every ceremony. So all the time, I guess. You got a lot of cleaning up. So you're drawing a circle and then you clean it up, or you just layer it over again. So you draw the circle or the rune or whatever you're drawing, and then you just draw over it again and again and again. You get this buildup of chalk or something. Um, I don't know. You should draw the circle before every ceremony. The circle is usually 9 feet in diameter, unless made for some very special purpose. There are two outer circles, each 6 inches apart, so the third circle has a diameter of 11 feet. 9. What is it? The two outer circles are 6 inches apart. So we get 9, and then 6 inches, and then another one, so that's 9 feet 6 inches. And then another 6 inches on 9 is 10. She says 11 feet, but I'm not very good at maths. I count 10. Um, I would need to use a calculator or jot the numbers down. But anyways, okay. The point is, you have a circle that is 9 feet, and then you have two other circles around that. So, um, having chosen a place proper, take an enchanted wand or knife, if thou can obtain one. What, you, you just find a stick. Can you just find any stick and enchant it? Does someone else need to enchant your wand? Just questions I don't have the answers to. Take a cord or rope and loop a length of 4.5 feet over the instrument, either wand or knife. So trace out the circumference of the circle. But ever leave open a door toward the north. Make all 3 circles one within the other, and write the names of power beneath these. Okay. When drawing the circles, touch water to your instrument and recite. Okay, hold up here. This seems skipping ahead. It doesn't really talk about. I guess you need to do a lot more research because, like, it's talking about an enchanted wand or knife. How do you enchant that? Is that like further in here? Does it talk about enchanting objects? Oh well, actually, here we go. Right here. This is. I'm just very in tune with this book. I assure you, I've not read this before. Here. To make a witch stick. Is this what I was just asking? A witch stick? Is that a wand? It says a gypsy charm. Okay, maybe it is in here. When drawing the circles, touch water to your instrument and recite. I exercise thee, O creature of water, that thou cast from thee all the impurities and uncleanliness of the spirits of the world of phantasm, so they may harm me not, in the name of Adria and Krionos. I want to know who those people are. Or those spirits. Who are Adria and Krionos? Okay, I feel we need to do a quick Google. What does Google say? Quick Google search. I won't delve into it too much. It seems like they're ancient witches. So they are people. Touching salt to your instrument, say, the blessings of Adria and Cyrnos be upon this creature of salt, and let all malignity and hindrance be cast forth hence from, and let all good enter herein. For without thee man cannot live. Wherefore I bless thee and invoke thee that thou mayest aid me. Then put the salt into the water, sprinkle it over the circles like candles within the circles, and recite, I exercise thee, O creature of fire, that every kind of phantasm may retire from thee and be unable to harm or deceive in any way, in the names of Adria and Sionos. I feel that a little bit of research on these individuals um, should be done in due course. Correct, curriculate. Curriculate. That sounds like some sort of ritual. I didn't feel that I would need to Google so many things to see a pronunciation of what they are, but that's okay. We're reading and learning. Curriculabulate. Let's do the pronunciation first. Pronunciation in English. Circumambulate. 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 There we go. Circumambulate means to walk all the way around something, and frequently used in a ceremonial or ritualistic or respectful manner. The term stems from Latin roots meaning around, to walk, and is used to describe both physically circling, such as around a temple, monument, or shrine, and metaphorically walking around an obstacle or avoiding a direct issue. I want to share a random story that comes to mind on that. Avoiding a direct issue. Actually, I went to a concert, and I sort of just circled around everyone there. They were all clustered. They were all densely clustered in the middle of the concert floor, and I wasn't quite sure where I sort of wanted to naturally place myself in the concert to get a good view of the musicians on the front, a view to not really focus on the bar so much, but just sort of out of the corner of your eye. Um, oh, sorry, here it's. Out of the corner of your eye, be like, oh, I feel a little thirsty right now, and you just sort of like, there's not a lot of hustle and bustle going on over there. It's just like a lot of stuff going on right there. It's in the corner of your eye, and then suddenly it's like, okay, maybe now would be a nice time to go over there. But I mean, opposingly, you might want to go over there if it's really busy to like chit chat while you wait. So I mean, it's dependent on like who you are. But I curriculumblate, that fucking word, Cir- circumambulate. I circumambulate the venue. Circumambulate. I paced around a little bit before I found my spot in there. This is interesting. So circumambulate the circle 3 times or more before drawing a pentagram. So walk around the circle thrice or more, as many times as you want, I suppose, and then you draw a pentagram. The first stroke of which should be from the top down to the left with your instrument and commencing work. Okay, so you draw some circles. I guess here we have this. So this image doesn't really quite have it, but I mean, this solid here is one circle, and then this fiery sort of bit here could be another circle, and then I believe it was indicated that there is one other circle. So you got 3 circles, and then you pace around it a little bit, at least 3 times, and then you draw a pentagram. So we got some instruments here. We're going to talk about instruments. It's definitely today. We're going to go through this, some instruments, and then the spells. We'll learn about at least one spell. And then maybe that's enough for today, or maybe more. We could do a be right back break. I'm still testing this out. I could probably talk and read all night, but we'll see. Instruments of witchcraft. Well, maybe let me try and get a good position here. Check the gain on that mic. Still in the green. Talk a little louder. Get into the yellow. adjust the camera. Um, so I'm using magic here with technology. I think it says zoomed as much as it will. Come on. Oh, no, no, there we go. Okay, I guess I'm doing too quick here. Okay, that looks all right. I got a bad back here, so you know this desk placement is kind of important for me. In time, I'll figure a better way to make this like readable on screen with not so much moving around for those who don't want to like listen to me yammer about things but might actually just want to read it. Don't call the cops on me because I got the book on the internet. Plus, it's transformative. We're talking about stuff. Don't sue me. Okay, Google set all lights brightness to 50%. Okay, still looks alright. Okay, so we're going to do instruments and then we're going to do at least one spell. That's been set. Reading about magic. So maybe let me try and experiment here a bit. Holding this, that looks good there. Rest on here. Sorry. The instruments of witchcraft. The magic wand. To make a magic wand, go in search of. This is it right here. It didn't even need to go too far. I don't know what that other thing was that we flipped to earlier. To make a magic wand, go in search of a rod of wild hazel, which has never borne fruit. Its length should be 19.5 inches, and when you have met with a wand of the required form, touch it not otherwise than with your eyes. So you found it, you're looking at it, you see it there, okay. Don't get all grabby and whatnot. It's gotta be the right one. Just take it, sit there, chill. You see it, maybe listen to what's going on in the woods. So you're looking at it, and then let it stay till the next morning. Oh, you gotta go back. Okay, this is exciting here. I gotta put this book down here. Okay. I don't even know where you would find. I don't even know where you would find that type of thing. We'll do that there in a minute. But oh, that's too bright. But skin looks awful. That's an awful tone for my skin. Okay, wild hazel. Let's find. Okay, Google, where does wild hazel grow?
Wild hazelnut trees, which are typically shrubs, grow naturally across many regions. In North America, the American hazelnut is found across the eastern half of the US and Canada, often in open sites, prairies, savannas, and woodland borders. The beaked hazelnut is found more in northern parts of the US and Canada, preferring shadier, moister spots. In Europe and Asia, the common hazel or European hazelnut grows across most of Europe, from the British Isles eastwards into Russia and the Caucasus. Would you like to know more about the best conditions for growing them?
No, 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 no. That's fine. That's fine. That sounds like a wonderful adventure to go hiking in the woods and find this plant that I have no idea where it's going to grow. That is kind of cool. Do I use Google to try and find a region and be like, yeah, most likely in there, or do I just sort of find what the plant looks like in the general region?
That does sound like a fun, spontaneous adventure. Finding a specific plant can definitely be a fun challenge. If you wanted to use Google to help narrow down your search area, I'd suggest starting by looking for native plant databases for your specific region.
No, no. Okay, Google, stop.
Yes,
No, no. Thank you. Thank you for your insights. Very much appreciated. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so you know, um, looking for a wild hazel, never born fruit. How are you supposed to know that though? There must be something like indicative of it. Like there's something when it changes that the plant. Um, I mean, is it a little sapling, so it's obviously never born fruit, or like could it be like an old growth that has a very wide diameter on it, and and the little saplings grow out of it. Anyways, to not uh, grow fruit is critical for that. So that's pretty cool. This plant has never grown fruit, no fruit, and then wait and go back the next day. That's a lot of that's a lot of time probably to even just get a wand. Okay, so you go back, you let it stay the next morning. Then you must cut it absolutely at the moment when the sun rises up. So the sun is rising. So that's dawn. You gotta do it in the dawn. And then you gotta strip it of its leaves and lesser branches, if there are any, using an enchanted knife if possible, while cutting and pronouncing the following words. Okay, so you gotta have the enchanted knife too. Okay, cool. So that's a lot of time, a lot of energy, even just to find your wand. So when you're cutting it, pronounce the following words. I beseech thee, O grand Adonai Elion er, Ariel, Jehovah, to be propitious unto me, and to endow this wand, which I am cutting with the power of virtue and the rods of Jacob, of Moses, and the mighty Joshua. I also beseech thee, O grand Adonai Elion Ariel, Jehovah, to infuse this rod, the whole strength of Samson, the righteous wrath of Emmanuel, and the thunderous mighty oh, that's a mouthful. Zariatyamik, with whom will avenge the names of men on the day of judgment. Amen. So, if you recall, like earlier too, really what is recommended is that you're like reciting things from memory, and I don't know about you, but remembering that would be very difficult. I would have to read it over and over and over and over and recite it. Um, so yeah, interesting. Having pronounced these sublime and terrific words, and still keeping your eyes turned toward the region of the rising sun, you may finish cutting your rod before you use the focus camera. There we go. Tilt. Sorry. Okay. I need some better equipment here so I can like adjust things like to the right height from like a stand. These cameras that I have, they're pretty great. but they're no DSLR. They're pretty great though. I ain't knocking them. I would recommend these cameras to someone, but um, a book going up and down here. Hopefully, I'm not giving you vertigo. Having pronounced these sublime and terrific words, and still keeping your eyes turned towards the region of the rising sun, you may finish cutting your rod. Before you use the rod, carve a cross where it is held and inscribe on four different sides of the shaft. Adonai Elohim Area Jehovah. Uh, I want to know these people. Is this like unique to this particular coven of this Anastasia Grey Wolf, the Moonbeam coven? I I have like some serious ADD sometimes, not all the time, but I don't know like my wand if I would want these people written on my wand. I don't know them. Maybe they're great, and I would want these people on my wand, but I don't know right now. I don't know. They're very unique names. I personally have never seen those names before. Um, but graphics and people's names and things. I'm rather particular about like what I would want on my things. Like even this here, this is um, this is I didn't make this, but I like the graphics on this. Very particular. I don't know who these people are. It would be cool for your wand if you could like put other people on there if this is not the coven. Um, and thus it will be prepared for sacred and wonderful works. Hmm. This is making a wand. I feel here. I'm gonna be back here. I get some water. I'm gonna switch out the coffee for some hot water. Think about this here. Making a wand. Um. Hmm. There's definitely got to be like other types of wood you can use for wands. Can you use other spells to enchant the wand, and who would be carved into it? Hmm. Anyways, be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Back popping in. Need need a bit of water. I'm not used to talking so much, getting that chapped lips. Okay, so we we found we oi we found a stick. We came back to the stick. We made sure it didn't get any fruit on it. No fruit. Not sure where that is, but wild a wild hazel. No fruit. Length 19.5 inches. Come back, cut it down. Have it a cutting ritual. Um, okay. You gotta put a carved cross on it and inscribe it on four different sides of the shaft. That's interesting. So no matter where you look at it, I guess there would be visible enchanted names, words, some sort of script that's enchanted on it that you would see in all directions. Now a smudging stick. I don't know. I don't know what a smudging stick is, but we're gonna find out what a smudging stick is. Is this thing? Is that like maybe like incense? We just it's a bundle of sticks or some sort of um, herbs. You just sort of. Anyways, let's find out here. Let's find out. Sorry, let's find out. Smudging stick. A smudging stick is a bundle of herbs that has been dried and is affixed to a stick or staff. Is then set aflame and used to heighten the efficiency of spells and chants. It may also be used to fumigate objects in order to clear their paths and prep them for magical use. Hmm. Smudging stick. Bowline knife. A bowline knife is a white handled knife used to describe the circle and inscribe candles and other magical articles. The bowline must be forged on the day and in the hour of Jupiter using a small piece of unused steel. It is set thrice in the fire and extinguished in the blood of a mole. Okay, well, okay, here we're getting. Okay, now we're getting sacrificial animals, yeah. Um, okay. It's hidden behind me, but this is. Anyways, here we go. There it is. A bloodline knife. A bloodline knife is a white handled knife used to describe the circle and inscribe candles and other magical articles. The bloodline must be forged on the day and in the hour of Jupiter. Using a small piece of unused steel, it is set thrice in the fire and extinguished in the blood of a mole. Mixed. Is this mole like a mole on your skin, or is it like the creature a mole? Let's turn the page, find out here, and let's think about this. With the juice of the pimpernel, let this be done when the moon is in her full light and course. On the same day and the hour of Jupiter, fit a horn handle to the steel, shaping a new sword forged thrice as above in the fire when made and perfected, or purchased from one who has done so. Recite over it this. Okay, I'm really not sure if you're sacrificing a creature or if you're just like, if you have a mole on your skin or something of the sort, would you slice it? And that's what it is. Also, there's a lot here you need to know about the movement of the stars. Small piece of unused steel. Okay, you have to get some raw materials. Not knowing anything about this and just having lots of questions and learning here, but I for one know that getting tools is very expensive sometimes. Even, for example, these tools that I have right here, this mic, this stand, this camera, that camera, the laptop, other, just a whole bunch of things. Oops, sorry. Um, Tools are expensive and timely, but if you do manage to eventually procure tools, things that come after are rather easy. So this is interesting. A bowline knife. It doesn't quite have a picture of it. I guess it's just a knife is a knife is a knife. Okay, well, so you have this. Let's see what she says here. Need a longer arm on this. Decibels still says it's in the green, almost the yellow, so I think the audio is good. I conjure thee, O form of this instrument, by the authority of God and the Father Almighty, by virtue of heaven and the stars, by the virtue of the angels, by that of the elements, by that of the stones and herbs, and in the manner of the virtue of snowstorms, thunder, and winds, that thou received all power unto the performance of these things in thy perfection, of which we are concerned, the whole without trickery, falsehood, or deception, by the command of God, creator of ages, emperor of angels. Amen. This is I'm this is really interesting. I would not have expected that any sort of book on a craft of this would end something saying amen. But um, there are things older than other things, so I don't know. Place it in a new wrapper of red silk until ready for use. Okay, so you got a magic stick. I shouldn't mock it, right? You have a wand. You have a smudging stick. You have a bowline knife, and you keep it stored in red silk until ready for use. So maybe you have a nice little box. You put that in. Line the box with silk, or maybe just wrap it in red silk and place it somewhere. Pen and ink. Yes, pen and ink too. Okay. The instruments one uses to complete spells are of the utmost importance. If possible, craft a quill, thusly pluck the third feather from the right wing of a male goose, and say extract. Holy, gotta find a goose, a live goose, a dead goose. It says if possible, so maybe you could just find a feather on the ground somewhere, but um, you know, foraging for such a thing just laying about might not be in the highest of quality. Third feather of the right wing. So also the third feather, is this like if this is the wing and this is like the furthest point out, is that one, two, and then this is three? You know, like one, two, three? Or does it count downwards and up? So it's one, two, three. I feel that you top down, bottom up. It doesn't specify. I guess you could go either way, whatever is, you know, you would decide. But I feel for things such as this, there needs to be a bit of specificity for for such a thing. So, anyways, the third feather from the right wing of male goose. Like it has to be a male goose. It has to be the right wing. Third feather. What one is it? Top down, bottom up. Okay, so whichever one it is, we sort of got the feather, and then what are you doing then? You're gonna do something with it. Arbace, Araton, Samatoi, Scavior, Adonai. Expel all evil from these feathers, so that it may possess full power to write whatsoever I will. Again, this book is talking about you're expelling evil from a feather, but like this has got necromancy in here. What else? Like, is necromancy? Maybe necromancy is good, not evil. I don't know. Well, we have a cleansed feather. You're gonna get cleansed feather, and what are you gonna do with a cleansed feather? You're gonna shape it with a bowline knife. Lastly, take a new inkhorn made on the day and the hour of Venus, and write about it in these names with the exercised lancet of the art. Well, like how long? Like when does the hour of Venus occur? Like is that like you're waiting a week? You wait a month? You have to wait a year, a decade? When does that happen? You could be old and gray possibly before you have all the tools you need. I don't know much about movement of stars. Jodhi va hi metron je cardos eleon zavio. And then dip the pen therein, pronouncing the following words. I exercise thee, creature of the feather kind, by Acreon and Samatoi, and by the name of Adonai, do thou aid me in all my works. Okay, now you got pen and ink. I'm rather fond of pen and ink, so that's a lot you're going to need to do for that. Doll baby. Oh, the voodoo doll. Oh my. Hmm. I don't know about you, but voodoo dolls do not pull from my mind thinking that they're anything but evil. Maybe have good things, maybe have evil things. It's just things. Right here. Right there. To make a doll baby or a voodoo doll is commonly known. Fill a small cloth sack with herbs and flora, as well as any personal objects from its original likeness. Use twine to fashion a head, arms, and legs. Once the doll baby is created, in a baptize it in whiskey, saying, "By the gods, good and bad, I baptize thee." Name of victim. Holy cow! Yeah, that's what time. It's talking about good. It's talking about bad. And the victim in brackets. This a voodoo doll does not sound like you would use it for anything but bad. Poking babies. Who the fuck is poking babies? You fucking sadist. You don't poke babies. What the fuck? From this point forth, use the name of the doll baby every time you address it. Every action you perform on it will be reflected in your target. To bind your enemy, tie the doll's hands. To bind your enemy to another person, tie it to another doll. For love spells, pierce it in heart. For menace, pierce its genitals. Pin the doll down entirely to keep its likeness away from you entirely. Huh. uh, let's hold this down here. Let's pin this page down. I've got plan action here. I need a heavier stone. I want like just a nice single stone I can just like place here. This is great. It's weighty, but there's a lot of tiny little trinkets in here, little stones, and I've seen they generally just slide off. So sort of does the job. Sort of, kind of, not really. The good old fashioned hand here is what we'll just do. A wish box. A wish box is a magical object that helps wishes come true. You can attain your wish from a sorcerer, carve it out of wood, or even fold one out of paper. Inscribe wishes, goals, and desires on separate sheets of paper. Fold the paper as many times as possible and place it in a box and meditate. This seems solid. This fucking voodoo shit, poking babies, poking baby dolls, jabbing it in its like genital areas. The fuck? That I don't know nothing about that. That seems fucking crazy. But this wish box thing, that seems like that could be legit. Also, I like the graphic here of this again. It's very calming. We got silken cloth. When all the instruments have been completed, they must be gathered into a costly cloth of silk. What is a costly cloth of silk? Does that mean like premium grade cloth is what you need? No burlap sack. No, no burlap sack. uh, so a nice silk cloth, high quality silk cloth, whereby they may be preserved clean and pure, and may thou be more effectuous. Okay, it's pure, it's clean, it's more effective when it's pure and clean. As long as it is not black or brown, the color is indifferent. Okay, no, not black, not brown, so just some other color. But the following characters must be written upon it in pigeon's blood with a male goose quail. Holy cow! And I mean, I don't know about other people, but I live in the city. There's lots of pigeons, and they often get run over on the road every now and again. So, I mean, if you want to run out in the middle of the road, play in the road, and find some blood from a you know dead pigeon you've scavenged, uh, then yeah, then you got some pigeon's blood. Adonai, Aminus, Anaton, Gobos, Elium. Place all magical instruments in this silken cloth and repeat. So shall I use thee at will and shall learn their effect. This is an interesting way to get these tools. Oh, and here we have a nice graphic. Let's get a good shot of that. There. Oh, down. There. Okay, hold that there. There we go. I have no comment on this image. It's pretty cool though. Melissa West. She's Melissa West did these images. And here we got some cool font. Okay, I said, uh, you know, we are going to learn about the tools and then get up to one of the spells. It's taking a while, slow and steady. We had some nice pauses along the way. Uh, we'll learn about at least one spell. Okay, I really need to get a nice heavy stone that isn't like full of dirt and crud that'll ruin my pages when I put it on there. But oh, this one fell. Oh, so I got this in there too. I have no idea why this button was significant enough for me that I placed it in with these gems, but it's in there for some reason. I don't know what clothing is missing that button. Okay, let's just take a look here, see how many. Let's do a pre-look here. What I chaptered. Okay, let's just do one here, and I feel for safekeeping. I think that's a good one to start and stop on of like the spells, and then we can do another session later. Okay, let's get there. Here we go. For safekeeping. American Magician's Incantation. For safekeeping, recite every morning. Grant me, O Lord, a good and pleasant hour, that all sick people may recover, and all distressed in body or mind, repose or grace may find, and guardian angel may over them hover, and all those captive and in bondage fettered may have their conditions and troubles bettered. For all good travelers on horse or foot, we wish a safe journey, joyful and good women in labor and toil, and safe delivery and joy. Okay, so there we go. It's a pretty cool book. I don't know if we'll read obviously the whole thing through, uh, segments of it. But it's a little bit of the book, a little bit of other things. It's definitely a very high quality book. I would recommend it. All right. Thank you for spending time with me, reading with Renderscene, and now on some platforms. Take care. Got technical hiccups here. This should be playing a nice little loop. Maybe next time it'll play. All right, I'm mildly upset it's not playing. Anyways, take care.